Okay, now we're recording. I didn't want to miss the celebration of the people that were watching the recording. So we're celebrating everybody because those who show up go up. So if you're showing up, you're here tonight, thank you. And if you're showing up by watching the recording, thank you. That was a big theme of the weekend. You know, if we really believe like you do what you can from where you are with what you have, then showing up is a huge part of that. So thank you guys so much for showing up tonight and for watching this recording and being here. So what Tracy, I kept saying I was getting into my peak state. Something that Tracy talked about in her talk was just as leaders and as compassionate entrepreneurs, one of the best things that we can do for you as a team is to show up in our best, So I wanted to get myself in a place of happy and joy, and it's the end of the day and I was tired, and I know sometimes I use the excuse or expression that I turn into a pumpkin after 7 o'clock, but you know what? Give me a pom-pom and some Bruno Mars, and I'm not a pumpkin anymore. I put a little lip gloss, a little lipstick on, and I can be my best. I can show up for you in a better way. So thank you, Tracy, for kicking me in the butt a little bit with that and helping me to show up better as a leader. And so I appreciate that. Plus, I really like dancing together. I mean, not enough of you dance. So next time, expect it. So next team meeting, you can show up. You can get your own pom-poms. We got these at Leadership. They say change the world and have artisans on them. But you can feel free to bring your own pom-pom next time. So I want to start with a little bit of celebration. Again, continue on the celebrations as we kick off this recap meeting. I want to celebrate the ladies who were at Leadership and qualified for Leadership. Many of them are on this call, of course, because they're going to be sharing with you tonight, and some of them are not, but I want you to know who they were and who they are so that you can celebrate them as well. So the ladies who were in attendance this weekend from Love Rising, so this isn't the whole Great Love Nation, all the other directors had girls too. This is just you guys, our Love Rising team with as me as your director. So Amber McDaniel, Dee Ladd, who I don't know if is on the call yet. Yay, Dee. Dina Galloway, woo, who's on the call. There's Dina. Jolene Grobar, woo, Jolene. Karen Redmond, woo, Karen. Marie Chenard, woo, is Marie here yet? She's supposed to share tonight. Hey, Lillian. Robin Sayers, woo, Tracy Warren, woo, Trisha Sherlin, woo, Tracy Fountain, woo, and Winter Hertz. Yay, Winter! Those were the ladies that were physically there with me this weekend. And then 2 ladies qualified for Leadership and got the beautiful, I'm wearing the rose gold Inspire Hope, Create Change necklace that was given to everybody who qualified for Leadership. But these ladies couldn't be there, but they were there with us in spirit, and I'm so proud of them for qualifying. And that's Lisa Tracy, woo, Lisa, and Leslie Hawes. Yay, Leslie! So congratulations to everybody for, again, like talking about showing up. There were so many things at work to prevent people from getting to Orlando this weekend. It was crazy. Sick kids, sick husbands, car accidents, ice. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even remember all the things. It was kind of insane how many forces were working against us to get people there this weekend. And we fought against it, and we got there, and almost everybody made it there. Some people it didn't happen for, but that's okay. Sometimes family things come first. But just the fact that you guys were able to be there and able to show up was nothing short of a miracle. Some of the things that were happening. A couple of shout outs within that group, just real quick before we jump into more fun things. I want to recognize Dina Galloway, who was selected for the Hope Council for 2018. That's awesome. Hope Council is an advisory board that's selected by the founders. So that's a big honor. So congratulations, Dina, on being selected for Hope Council. Jolene Grobart, who's not on the call, but I want to celebrate her because she'll probably watch it later. She was recognized with one of these beautiful pieces. This is a steel art. It says Inspire Hope, Create Change. These were given to everybody with a lifetime PRV of $100,000 or more. And so Jolene was recognized for that, which is huge, amazing. And also she was a panelist. We had 2 really awesome panels at retreat. So she was selected to be on one of the panels. So awesome, Jolyn. And then Marie Chenard, when you watch this back, I don't know if you're here yet, but Marie has attended 3 leaderships. So she's a 3 for 3. There's only been 3 leadership retreats, and Marie has been at them all, which is amazing. So congratulations, Marie. And Tracy Warren was a speaker at the event. She did a transformational language thing. Like I said before, I can't really quite describe what it was, but it was amazing. And she was also selected for Hope Council. So congratulations, Tracy. Tracy Fountain was also asked to speak. She was my partner. If anybody got a recording of that, by the way, let me know, because I told Tracy this morning, like, I feel like I had an out-of-body experience. I don't even know what I said, so I'd really like to see it. But we spoke about sponsorship, so congratulations, Tracy. Tracy was also, I didn't know all the awards, so I'm going to miss a couple, but Tracy, I know, was awarded the top leader in the company since Empower. So since July, she is the top leader in the company, which means she has sponsored the most people who have become qualified, which is pretty cool. Tracy Fountain is somebody to talk to about sponsorship, but we'll get to that. And then I want to recognize Trisha Sherlin, who is the newest CE on our team in attendance. I think, I didn't really go back and like scrutinize that, but I'm pretty sure you're the newest. She's been a CE since July of 2017. So yay, Trisha, it's a pretty big deal to be going to leadership this early on in your journey. So thank you guys, and I hope you feel celebrated, and I'll keep looking for more things to celebrate, because that is my new theme. So a couple of things, like housekeeping things before we jump into the recap. So I don't know if you saw it, but we had a new catalog launch, which I love living in Florida. It's completely unfair because I got my big box of stuff today. Did anybody else get their like kit builders and stuff? Yeah, Amber, another Florida girl. Yeah, sorry. We live really close to the home office. We actually live in the same town as the distribution center, so it just is what it is. But I got all my goodies. If you want to see anything in person, put it in the chat. If you're eyeing something, if you haven't bought something, feel free to ask me. It's literally sitting all in front of me. And I did not make the business decision that I think you should make, which is I bought everything. But I did have tons of Hostess rewards from a Black Friday party, so that I was saving up. So yeah, so I've got it all, and I'm super excited. It was so fun to watch Elizabeth share about the catalog. The catalog is like literally her baby. And so she got very emotional sharing about it. And it's really, really beautiful. Every time something comes out, we think that it won't be better, but it just keeps getting better. Here's the wallet. Missy wanted to see the wallet. I believe my phone will fit in it. Let me see. Yes, my phone will fit in, and it zips up with plenty of room to spare. It's a really great wallet. The backpack is amazing. I happen to have 2 of them. It's really sturdy. Like the denim is really nice and sturdy. Great leather on the straps. It's got a nice, this is a big zipper, so like nothing will fall out. It's got a pocket that zips inside. 2 side things like water bottle type pockets. And it's from Guatemala, so you need one. Love it. Definitely think you will sell it if you have it. That's one of my little tips on the higher priced items. I used to not buy them when I first started. And as it would turn out, I never sold them because people need to see the things that are a higher price point. So if you're looking for something to invest in, I think the backpack is certainly worth the investment because it'll be a great, like, you know, spring and summer piece. Okay, so if there's anything else you want to see, you can put it in the chat. If there's something that you love, put it in the chat. But the catalog is a great tool right now for your business. It's probably the #1 tool we have as far as like reaching out to past hostesses, getting people excited. I've been sending the online version that link to the online catalog. I've been just texting that like crazy and messaging it to people, you know, look at this, it just came out, you know, with nothing other than just like, here, look, and just for something fun for them to see. But I have books and parties and, you know, been using that as a tool. So yay for the spring catalog. Double Hostess Rewards is still going strong. If you want to throw your party dates in the chat so we can be cheering for you, because I know everybody's got parties in the second half of January because nobody does them in the first half of January, because there's no sales for our theme. Yay! So I've got 2 for this month, and they are my first 2, so maybe you've got 2. Cannot fit a laptop. Oh, in the backpack. I'm sorry, Gretchen. I thought you meant the wallet. I'm like, you're not going to fit a laptop in the backpack. Yeah, I think not like mine, but mine's like a dinosaur. But you could definitely fit like a like what the kids use these days, you know, a smaller laptop could definitely fit. It's a big backpack. Who were the models? Well, you know, you recognize Melissa, of course, from the home office. The blonde is actually somebody that I have opened a Trades of Hope modeling agency. So now whenever Elizabeth needs somebody, she just says, who do you know? But that's one of my hostesses, Devin, who we really tried to get joined. So if you get to join, so if you see her, tell her she needs to join. But she and her mom are great hostesses for me. And first time I met her, I was like, you need to be in the catalog, because she's so beautiful. But her and her mom are hosting a party for me at the end of the month. She's a young woman that lives in Orlando. She sells rhododendron and fields. What are you gonna do? And then I don't know the other girl. I don't know the cover model. I think she's one of Elizabeth's friends, but she's quite beautiful. So maybe she'll become a CE. Okay. So yeah, Double Hostess Rewards is still going on. Put your party dates for, if you have any questions or anything about Double Hostess Rewards, you can put those in the chat. How many of you have started using the February incentive, the clean water? Anybody? Yeah. If you haven't started sharing that, I started yesterday and it's getting a great response. This is a good one, especially for Facebook parties, like, well, for any party, but I don't like to do Facebook parties, but this gave my Facebook party hostess like a really tangible thing to go for. And so she actually got really excited. She immediately wrote me back and was like, ooh, I'm going to go for 10 months. I want to do a little graphic that's got like a water drop and we'll show it filling up. I'm like, cool. Okay. An excited Facebook hostess. You know, that's awesome. So definitely share it. That little chart is very exciting and easy to understand, you know, for a hostess. And, you know, it's one thing to go for sales because it's about them and all the stuff they can get, but to go for the months of clean water is pretty amazing. So use that February clean water tool if you haven't yet. You know, think about the hostesses that you know are into like clean living, or maybe I've had a hostess before, we did a fundraiser to raise money for a well. So I'm definitely going to be reaching out to her and saying, hey, you want to do another event where we are actually donating clean water, you know, stuff like that. Something else that'll probably come up in the takeaways, but wanted to bring up is the Sparks program. This was a huge announcement this weekend. Hopefully you've had a chance to watch the video. There's not a ton of details about it yet because the program hasn't officially rolled out, but that doesn't mean you can't start talking about it. So the Sparks program is for girls or boys ages 11 to 17 that want to be part of what we're doing at Trades of Hope. It's a mentoring kind of program. They are not going to have a business. They're not going to be earning money, that kind of thing. They're going to be partnering and being mentored by a current compassionate entrepreneur or by their mom or who becomes a compassionate entrepreneur. So it is a way to help grow our sisterhood because there's a lot of moms out there that want to connect with their daughters, and this might be the thing that helps them, you know, say yes. Maybe they've been on the fence for a long time about joining, but then knowing that their daughter could be part of this mentoring program, could be in a special Facebook group, could get training specifically, and you know, from Chelsea and Elizabeth, who, if I had a daughter, I would want them to be like Chelsea and Liz. Like, they are the most amazing young women I've ever met. So this is a great tool. Girls, think about Girl Scouts, think about pageant groups. You know, girls that are in pageants need a platform. I need to talk to Lauren Clark about this. So if Lauren's watching, she was Mrs. Florida last year. So she's like in the pageant world, but that would be a great platform. Somebody to, you know, imagine a young woman to get up and speak about that, you know, that she's a spark with Trades of Hope and she helps empower women out of poverty. And, you know, I just think that the sky's the limit. So junior achievement, there's all kinds of things. I'm sure you have, and if you have ideas, throw them in the chat about the Sparks program. They are not saying exactly when it's going to roll out, but it will be the end possible, like the last date it would come out would be by Inspire, which is of course in August. But you can certainly, I sent that video out to like 3 of my friends and they were like, oh my gosh, this looks so cool. And you know, it's a beautiful video. It's so sweet. And you know, just plants that seed for when you do have more, you know, tangible information. Okay. So that is kind of the announcements. Hopefully I didn't forget anything major, but we're going to jump into the takeaways from Leadership Weekend. So, gosh, we had a call this morning with the ladies who were in attendance, and just so many cool things. I've asked everybody to kind of keep their takeaways to 2 or 3 minutes so that we're not here till midnight, with the exception of Robin, because Robin's going to be sharing more specifically about our artisan group in Asia. She has a personal connection to them. But I'm going to start with my takeaway real quick, which was actually the very, very beginning of the weekend. Gretchen was the first one to talk, and she started out just kind of reminding us that we are one team, that we are one Trades of Hope, and then all the things about us that unite us. You know, we are women with grit, right? Every single woman that I was with this weekend, every single woman that I see on this call right now is a woman with grit. You have passion and you have perseverance. That's what grit is. And you are also a woman who is going to fight through the hard times because you stay connected to your why. And that's so, so important. And if you're coming out of the holiday cocoon still and you haven't like re-engaged fully with your why, now's the time to do it. Don't wait any longer. You've shown up tonight, you've done the hard thing. So reconnect with your why, because when things get hard, you want to know, you know, why you're doing this. And it's too important not to be connected and not to embrace that grit. We are women of good character in Trades of Hope. You know, we are kind. I love Trades of Hope because every time I'm at a retreat or I'm on a call or I'm at a meeting, I just feel super loved because everybody's really, really nice. And, you know, they're loving to those that are around us. We're loving to our teammates. And part of that is that we always assume the best. And that is something that Gretchen brought up. It's one of the core values of Trades of Hope. But assuming the best is a really powerful thing. And I had to actually use that yesterday. I had a really direct salesy experience and a message from a woman that I immediately was like, ugh, like, and I wanted to respond kind of snarky. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and assume the best and maybe even say a little prayer for this woman. And I'm going to try to respond from a place of grace. And that's also where Gretchen started with us, is that we assume the best about people and we always give grace to one another. To your leaders, I appreciate the grace that you guys have given me. I've been a little MIA, and so I appreciate the love and grace for that. And it just really helps you when you're reacting and responding to situations, if you are assuming the best and you are giving that grace to others, and you are definitely giving it to yourself. That is hugely important. We are also women who are humble. She quoted Harry Truman. She said, you can accomplish anything in life provided you don't mind who gets the credit. So it's my job to celebrate. So if you don't take the credit, I'm going to try to give you the credit because you guys do deserve to be celebrated and you are such humble, incredible women. And then genuinely caring about one another. You know, we wouldn't be here if we didn't love this mission and we didn't have compassionate hearts. And so, you know, going to the retreat, anytime I go to a retreat, you know, I see so clearly that it starts from the founders and it just trickles down into our company, into Trades of Hope, that there is genuine care and love for every single person who has been prayed for to be there. Our home office loves us. Our customer service loves us. And I know that you guys assume the best about them and give them grace, but they genuinely would give us the shirt on their backs. And that starts from our founders. And that's why I love going to a retreat, is because it's such real, authentic, genuine people who genuinely care. And we fight hard to preserve that culture, and that's what our founders are trying to preserve every single day. And so if that's not a commercial for Coming to Inspire in August, then I don't know what it is. But yeah, get your ticket now. Okay, so that was where the retreat started. So that's kind of where I wanted to start tonight. And then the next speaker that we had was actually Virginia Sharf. And she is, I'm going to let Robin tell you about her, but she works with our artisan group in Asia. So Robin, would you please?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Hi guys, I'm Robin from Cincinnati, if you don't know me. And I actually got permission from Virginia to just share one of our artisans' stories in her own words. So I'm going to read that real quick to start. So this is May's story. In my whole life, I've never attended school. When I was little, my parents forbade me from going to school because they thought it was a waste of time and money for girls to be educated. They only allowed my brothers to go to school. When every semester started, I remember clearly that seeing the other kids go to school would always make me so sad. I could do nothing but hide myself and cry. Whenever I was free, I would stand at the gate of the school trying to listen to what the teacher was saying. I admired those students. I hoped I could learn things like them one day. Having no education, I was sent into the big city to find a job. I was maybe 14 years old when I started working in the brothels. But now I realize that my dreams have come true. I never thought I would have the chance to study, especially for a woman at my age, 47. Ever since I joined this artisan group, I've been learning how to write and read through the classes they provide. I'm even studying English and computers. I'm so happy that I can finally be able to learn as a student from my amazing teachers and develop my career. So one thing that really struck me out of that is that in her story, she didn't even focus on the brothel part that much. She focused on like just from birth, and this is something that Virginia really hit on, just the fact that she had been undervalued her whole life. You know, she wasn't seen as important enough to get an education. And so that was one thing that Virginia really focused on was just the fact that these girls that she gets to work with, they are told basically from birth that they have no importance or value, and a lot of times they bring shame to their family just because they're female. So anyway, the thing that I love about Virginia though is that even though she's telling these really sad stories, she just has this joy that radiates from her. And she really focused on the positive triumph of these women. Like May is a production manager, so she doesn't see the lady that I was just telling her story. She doesn't see her as a survivor. She sees her as, I'm going to call her and make sure that all of this work is happening. So I thought that was really cool. And then just some specifics. There are 33 women in 2 locations or 2 shelters that they have. And their goal is to specialize in aftercare of human trafficking survivors. And so they have 3 missions with the girls. And so they want the girls to experience freedom, establish independence, and develop careers. So another really cool thing about this artisan group is not only do they obviously gain their freedom and they get taught all these amazing skills, they get holistic healing and counseling, but then they also train them to develop careers because they don't want them to stay at the actual group their whole lives. They want to train them to be able to go out and be successful in their society. And then just, I know we've had a lot of questions about, you know, why do we just say Asia? And so she hit on this again. And the main reason, besides just the privacy of the girls, because they've obviously been in very vulnerable situations, is that the government is very hostile towards Americans, especially, and you can probably guess what country it is, but it's very important for us to not say it out loud on social media, especially because in 2015, this country actually kicked out all American NGOs, which are nonprofits. And so the only reason that this artisan group was allowed to stay was because they had a business attached to it. So isn't that awesome that the power of business actually kept them in that country? And so in 2016, they were 52% funded by donations, the charity side, and 48 by the jewelry business. And so their goal by 2030 is to be 100% funded by the jewelry business, so that they can, it's just really even for their own safety, and it's keeping them sustainable that way. So I really feel like with this partnership with Trades of Hope, like we can make that happen a lot quicker than what they were even dreaming of. Virginia did say when I asked her privately that Trades of Hope is the largest wholesale partner they've ever been able to partner with. So that's amazing. Wonderful news. The Restoring Hope necklace, if you don't have it, the story behind it is just ridiculously amazing. So, and then let me see, I'm looking at my notes. Oh, the one last thing, we did get to do a Q&A with Virginia, which was really cool. And somebody, another CE that was there had asked, well, you know, we love what you're doing. Is there anything that we can do to support the work that you're doing? Like basically saying, can we donate to your organization? And Virginia said, you know what? The thing that you can do that is going to help us the most is sell more necklaces. Mm-hmm. So just going along with the same, you know, the same thing that we try to say all the time, like, you know, charity isn't the model that's going to sustain us. This business model is working. So I just want to encourage you guys. You guys are doing, everything that you're doing is so extremely important. And she even said it might not seem like it's glamorous, like you're not going out on the outreaches, like some of her team is actually going into the brothels, and that can seem like it's, you know, more important work. She said the work that we are doing is just as important as the work that they are doing, because it's a partnership, just like we always say. So, yeah.
Thank you, Robin. Yeah, I hope Virginia makes some more videos for us, because her energy and the way that she talks was just like blew you away a little bit. I mean, the very first thing that she said when she walked out on stage, I think did we watch a video right before she talked? Yeah, we watched a video. That's right. And then she walked out on stage and she said, this is what we are doing. Like we're doing this together in Asia. We are like, here we look at her and she's this director of this program. And we, you know, I don't know, sometimes I think, wow, she's doing really cool things. Like, I don't know how much of, you know, what I'm doing is a part of that, but she came out and right out of the gate, she was like, this is what we are doing. You, Trades of Hope, and us, and the women that are coming out of the brothels. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, yes. And that's, you know, that's the confirmation right there that we're doing that with every artisan group. But it was just really powerful for her to say that. I love when she talked about too, like how they go into the brothels and like build a relationship with the women. And it's not just like, you know, they don't just go in and say, hey, come make jewelry for us. They actually go in and like bring them gifts or, you know, do really nice things just to show that they care. And then, you know, tell them about what they're doing and give them that option. And it, you know, it's obviously not the same, but it's the idea of relationships, once again, being at the forefront of everything that we're trying to do. When Nick Kristof came, or not Nick Kristof, I wish it was Nick Kristof, when Nick Canuso came and spoke to our team, he talked about that too, that like, it's really just like talking to people and having an awareness of what's going on. That's one of the most powerful things you can do to prevent human trafficking. But like just that foundation of building relationships continues to be the resonating theme in everything that we do, and that we are part of it. So thank you, Robin, and thank you for being part of bringing this artisan group to Trades of Hope. Everybody probably doesn't know that, but that, you know, that's a really big deal and a really special thing. And we celebrate you because of that relationship. Yeah. We are able to be their biggest wholesale partner and change lives, and that's incredible. So thank you for having that relationship and for putting it out there to Virginia. And God bless you, for real. That's how it happens. And it's amazing. Okay, so then the next part of the weekend, the next talk was Tracy Warren's, and it was amazing, and a lot of good things to take away from that. But I know at least one of Trisha's takeaways was from Tracy's talk, and then she has some other things to share. So Trisha, why don't you unmute yourself and take the stage? And thank you so much, Robin, for sharing that.
Yeah, thanks, Robin. And Tracy is such a high-spirited, just really motivational, truly motivational person. Tracy, I didn't even tell you, but I think the last team meeting maybe you spoke, and yeah, just a few things that you said just struck me. So yet again in your talk, it was good. But for me, so thank you, Tracy. But for me personally, I had talked with Aaron about this, and Aaron had asked us all to kind of comment on what we wanted out of the weekend and how we wanted to leave feeling. And I was just really honest. It was kind of a vulnerable answer even to type in a little messaging system, but I just wanted to leave feeling a part of Trades of Hope. And where I was coming from with that is that sometimes if I'm the new person or in an unfamiliar situation, and especially in a situation like this where, these are, a lot of the people at leadership are more established leaders within the company. You have a lot of strong leaders, a lot of strong women. And while I consider myself a strong woman, that doesn't, that I also, get very insecure and uncomfortable. And so that's where, for me, leaving my little girl for the first time and, flying for the first time in years, which was really weird too. But going into a situation where I just really didn't know anyone, just a lot of insecurities crept up, and I put a lot of walls up, and I felt more like an observer of the whole weekend. And so even though I wanted to participate, I consider myself a friendly person. I love people. I really do. I just was so uncomfortable, and it was just a really hard weekend for me, to be honest. So there were a lot of really good things, and it's been so cool and really just a beautiful thing to kind of reflect on the weekend and even draw more from these little snippets that were meaningful to me. But one of the things, though, and I'm just going to hit a few of them, but that Tracy said in her talk is she said that the meaning that we apply to situations create emotions that dictate the quality of our lives. And it really that really struck me. And I realized that, I think in my adult years even, I've just been a little jaded by life. And so I become a lot more mistrusting and a lot more defensive, a lot quicker, and a lot more judgmental. And so it was just really, it was really good for me to just have that reminder, and even for her to phrase it in the way that we get to apply meaning to situations. And that's going to have a ripple effect in us, and I get to choose. And so when I'm in a pressure sort of situation or an uncomfortable set of circumstances, or with new people that I'm intimidated by, that, I get to create the meaning for that. And that's going to drive how I feel and my behaviors in the situation. Also, let's see, the DISC, they went over the DISC, and I think somebody else is going to talk about that maybe, but using it as a tool not to cast judgment, but to better understand, that was something else that just really stood out to me, that I realized, I don't mean to be a judgmental person, but I am. I'm observing things, and I'm casting judgments, and it's just really a healthy place for me to be, and for and it really prevents relationships, which is what this is all about and what I want it to be about. Also, I'll just continue on, but Trades of Hope values, I know that somebody's probably going to hit on that too, or at least Aaron had referenced it, but the values, a few of them especially though, are to collaborate, to believe the best in people and our circumstances and our future. And so to value differences. So all of those things, I felt like there was just kind of a common thread throughout the whole event and every talk that really just kind of spoke to me and challenged me. And then Holly's devotional was the turning point. And that was it really was. That was the kind of turning point for me that just softened my heart and let me kind of let my guard down a little bit. What I was hoping, and I kept thinking about it all weekend, like what I'm hoping, what I really want is to feel like I'm a part of Trades of Hope, that this is something I'm really doing, not just in my own little world, like not just in my own little community, but it's something that I'm truly connected with. And I just didn't feel that way the whole weekend. And so Holly's talk was just really pointed and clear that you belong here. And it was, she used the phrase that as they were preparing for the weekend, they wanted to make more room at the table. And I know that, they were talking about, the weekend, but I think she even referenced that it was just as a whole, like Trades of Hope as a whole, they want to make room for everybody at the table. And that was just so beautiful to me. And it was so, it just, even though, the negative thinking was there, it just was so validating that I do belong here and you belong here when those insecurities creep up. And it just kind of was what put my spirit at rest, and what just validated to me that I'm in the right place and I'm doing the right thing with the right people, and those relationships will grow. So I really do look forward to getting to know people, within this team. And then, Tracy Fountain and Aaron basically ended the session, and it was really powerful about sponsorship. But Tracy talked a lot about mindset and how we make up stories for people in our head when we think about sponsoring them. And so that yet again, making those judgments and having those just assumptions about what a person might do or what they might want or what they might think of me, because I care a lot. That's the I in me. I care a lot about what people think. And then I loved what Erin said about Tracy Fountain. She described her as she was introducing her to the group of women, that she is equally bold and humble. And, I missed the first part of Gretchen's talk at the very beginning. So I don't know if I was in the room or if I wasn't in the room, but that we're characterized as, women of humility. I want to be characterized as a person that is equally bold and humble. And so this whole weekend, it was really hard. But it was so good, and it was good in the hard ways. That this is something that I Trades of Hope is really impacting my life. I know it'll affect my business, but just my life as, me as a person, I want to grow and I want to strive to be better. So it was a humbling experience in a really, really good way.
That's awesome. Trisha, I just adore you. And I think that was a really hard thing that you just did. And you kind of shared with us this morning. But I know that will touch a lot of people because, insecurity is obviously rampant. Some people might not buy that ticket to Inspire because they don't want to feel like they don't know anybody. I mean, that's like core fear 101 of like walking into a room where you don't know anybody. And at leadership, it's almost amplified because everybody there for the most part has been around for a little while and already has a relationship. So I get it. And I told you this morning, sometimes that has backfired for leadership retreats because somebody who's new comes in and feels totally overwhelmed. So thank you for being brave, for sharing that, for sharing those insecurities, and for taking the journey of the weekend. I mean, I just think it's so awesome. Some of you were probably like, whoa, so she had a terrible time? Like, what is she talking about? But I knew where you were going. So that's why I was like, okay with it. But and Holly has a way of like bringing it home, she has a way of just like speaking straight to your heart. And I love, Tracy Warren in her talk said, breakthroughs don't happen in the head, they happen in the heart. So it's like you were up in your head, and I think a lot of us easily get stuck in our head and the stories that we're telling us about ourselves or the stories that we're saying about other people. I mean, they just go. And when you allow your heart to just soften, like you said, and you really hear what's being said and you feel the love that's around you, and you understand that you do belong and that you can do this work, and that, all of it, that a rejection isn't about you. And I mean, it can be crazy personal growth with Trades of Hope. There is no doubt about that. So you are just scratching the surface to the journey, which to me has, after 5 years, has been probably the greatest part, is like becoming a better person, becoming more of who I was created to be. And I love seeing that happen for you. And so thank you. You're getting lots of love on the chat. So
thanks, guys.
go over there and read that. Thank you so much. So then Chelsea did do a training on the DISC profile. Some of you are probably very familiar with DISC, but if you have not ever taken a DISC quiz, I highly recommend it. You're going to hear it a lot as more and more people become trained in DISC, and it's definitely a Trades of Hope. It's a tool that we're using to help us understand people, and it, yeah, like Tricia said, it's certainly a way to celebrate our differences and then use, you know, like some people are really good at some things and some people are not, but when combined, we are better together. And that was another theme of the weekend as well, that it really does take all kinds. So Chelsea did a great DISC training. And then Jess Argetsinger, the other national director, and Erica Solgis, one of the other executive directors, did a great talk on loving your team, which obviously it was really great for me. There are very high S's, so they just love people and taking care of people. S's are like, want to make sure everybody's like safe and loved. So that's why I love being, you know, BFFs with Jess and Erica, because they help me love on my team more. And one of the best people at loving on people is Marie Chenard. So Marie, I'm going to ask you to step in and share your takeaways from the weekend. Marie, are you here? I can't.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. There you are.
Can you hear me? I'm in the car. Okay. I'm picking up daughter from college. So,
hey Marie, I don't know. Hold on. We don't have great Wi-Fi if you're in the car, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to hear your message.
can you hear me?
Yes, but then you kind of let's just see how it goes. Give us what you got.
All right, I'm almost home.
Okay, go.
Okay. Can I go next?
Sure.
Do I have to go now?
Next. Okay, awesome. So then
You skip me?
yeah, we'll come back to you. So we're actually going to go to Winter next, who is Marie's partner in crime, partner in team. They had a great bonding weekend, and I love when leaders and people join. You know, it's always more fun to have like a partner in this business, like whether it's somebody that you sponsor right out of the gate that like runs, you know, from the beginning with you, or somebody you kind of like designate as the person that you're gonna run with. But it is fun to have somebody, and Marie and Winter kind of decided that they're gonna have each other this year, going forward, which I love. So Holly Wade and Rachel Cunningham, a director, shared some great talks on systems and follow-up. And so I was gonna ask Winter if she would do some takeaways related to those topics. So Winter, are you
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Because I'm using my school computer. Don't tell anybody because my other one was dead. So I just want to make sure. Yeah, so just a little bit on system follow-up. So first of all, everything everybody says is so true. Like you feel like you don't belong and then you love everybody, and it's like mind-blowing. I walked in crying, didn't I? Like I walked in and immediately started crying. So I blown away. So just a little bit on system follow-ups, because that for me, like I always am looking for really practical things I can take back to just do right away, and things I can share obviously with my team. So the 222 follow-up that Holly shared, I thought was just such an easy thing to do. Just like after your parties, it was the 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months, and how none of it really was looking to book a party or looking to sell something else, but it was really just doing the connection. So like it's basically 2 days after the party, just following up with a relational connection. It was nice to meet you. You know, I hope you really, enjoyed the event, and I can't wait to hear how you liked your products. And then 2 weeks later, following up with a customer service connection. Just, did you get your products? Was there, was everything the way you liked it? And then 2 months later, following up with a connection reminder, which I thought was the coolest thing. So there's some really neat graphics in the back office, and then the videos and things that you can just share with somebody that just adds value to their purchase. So like I think they made that really cool graphic with the necklines and the necklaces that you can wear, which I think is going to be really neat. So if somebody buys a necklace, you can send that to them and say, hey, saw this, you bought that necklace. Here's a graphic that shows you how you could wear it, or some of the videos that have the how they're made. There's a couple of videos of how products are made. So just sharing that with them and just saying, hey, saw this video, wanted to share it with you because I know you really like the product, or something like that. But not even asking them to join or host again, because you've already done that. So this is just continuing to plant that seed and keep that going. So really thought that was such an easy takeaway. And then Rachel Cunningham. So I sat there and listened to her talking, and I was writing everything down. But then I had a moment to kind of touch base with her later, like right before the end of something. And Marie and I just kind of talked with her a little bit. And I realized what she was saying was that, because I didn't get this right away, that her Facebook, what she does on Facebook is completely an all engagement just with people. She's just there to build relationships. And her Facebook is not there in any way to really talk about Trades of Hope. She says she doesn't ever really say Trades of Hope ever. And how did she say it? Something about it's the connection valued over commission. And so she just really works on engagement on Facebook, and works on, she does Facebook live videos like once a day, she said, just a quick, like, here's who I am. And, she said she wears the product, and she might hashtag, like empowering women or something, but never talking about sales. She never puts any of that stuff on her regular Facebook page. She says she doesn't even have a business page anymore. Because then what happens is people will comment or like, and she works on building relationships with them. They will make a comment, and she might send them a personal message, and she just works on getting to know them. Maybe by stalking them a little bit, getting on and checking out what kinds of things do they like, and then going back and following up with them, and just remembering to use that to follow up. And she talked about like the follow up, and I'm trying to think, did she share the promo video like on a Facebook party, and the people that commented? I was trying to remember how that worked. Sorry, I was on this morning. But she had like the day 1, the day 3, and the day 7 follow ups. So it was almost like how she would like message them personally, and it was just like establishing a relationship, creating conversations. On day 3, she would reach out and never really mentioning Trades of Hope. And then day 7, kind of reminding them about what they loved. I think she even said, like at parties, she said on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to join Trades of Hope? And kind of depending on where they were at, she would determine, kind of when to follow up with them. So just some easy tips to take.
And there was a lot of practical kind of infused with the inspirational and motivational this weekend. And I feel like we can talk about, we're going to do, so that was like a preview of what you're going to get. Rachel gave us a great handout. Holly, her thing was very specific. So we can do some separate things in our team meetings and stuff on some of those practical things. But they say fortune is in the follow-up. I mean, it is absolutely true. And follow-up is one of those things that's like super hard sometimes, but I'm constantly working on a better system. Yeah.
Terrible at it. So
yeah. And I mean, is anybody good at it? Because I'm not. But there's a lot of value there. But I ebb and flow with it. But they are giving us more tools to help us with that value adding. Like with the neckline thing, there's a scarf tying thing with the how it's made videos. There's more of those coming out, that are just really just trying to add value to somebody's day, to somebody's life, keep them connected with Trades of Hope. And that is really important and easier now that they're giving us a little more, some tools to do that. They're giving us a customer tracking sheet. It might already be out in the toolbox, but it's coming soon. Just some different things to keep us connected. But yeah, so thank you, Winter. Thank you for sharing that. We'll have to have you teach the class because you're...
No, I've done enough trainings lately.
That's true. Oh, I hope your thing went well on Monday. Okay, so then we had lots of really great panels this weekend. So I'm going to kind of go through the next ladies as sort of a panel. Marie, are you where you've got some Wi-Fi now? Dina, you're up next if you want to jump on. So Dina.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. So one of the takeaways, I had a million takeaways, obviously, from this weekend. Being my first leadership, it was just amazing. But one of the things that I struggle with is being on social media, knowing what to post, trying not to be too salesy. And so one, I can't remember who it was, she was talking about being your authentic self.
Shelly Massey.
Yeah. And so she suggested picking like 3 to 5 things about yourself that you're like passionate about, which I would say 5 would be good, just so that's not real repetitive. You're not always posting about the same things every day. So picking 5 things that you're passionate about, things that people know about you. They know if they see a post that it's yours, they're going to recognize it. And that's basically called branding yourself. So whenever people either go to your page or they see your stuff come up in their newsfeed, they're going to know that that is from you, and try not to be somebody that you're not. Being authentic. So like 5 of the things that I picked, everybody knows that I have faith. I love God. I like to inspire people. Everyone knows my bulldogs. They are big. Everybody knows that. My list is kind of iffy in some things. I love books. But you can talk about your family. If you have the crazy things with your kids that are always going on, telling stories and making videos. There's so many people that make awesome videos. I am not the best video maker, but I can tell stories. So I'm just picking something that you are comfortable with, and just being yourself and being real. That's what people are attracted to. So just, and it's funny because I posted something earlier today where I just asked my friends what are things that they see that I love. And so they're basically helping me to pick my 5 things. Oh. So it'll be interesting to see, what they know me for. So those will end up probably being my 5 things. So
that's really cool. Well, and we had talked about this morning. I think this is amazing. I hope everybody is listening to this because, we talk about building relationships, yet social media is one of our biggest tools for connecting with people outside of our, immediate day-to-day life. So how do you convey real relationships and realness and authentic self? Well, I just think this is so awesome because it helps you balance. And I said this morning, when people are drawn into and attracted to Trades of Hope, it's really not them being attracted to the company. It's them being attracted to you and wanting to be a part of what you are doing. And I think we don't give ourselves enough credit for very early on, being able to brand ourselves. I mean, that sounds super intimidating to be like, I have to brand myself, but you kind of do. And anybody can. You don't have to be like a marketing expert to be able to kind of shape, what you present on social media. And I think that this just gives it focus. If you're looking at your feed and everything you're posting is Trades of Hope, or every other thing is Trades of Hope, and you're not having a great luck with engaging with people about Trades of Hope, that's probably why. More is not more in this case. It's about balance. It's about your life. So really take some time to reflect and maybe even just do an experiment for 2 weeks. Once you figure out your 5 things, post about those things and just keep it kind of narrow. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for me to start, posting tons about food because I've never really been cooking. I'll post about my kitchen a little bit because I have a nice kitchen, but cooking's not really something that I would post about. But obviously my boys, I would post about that. And specifically Lawson singing or doing something funny. But narrow it down. I mean, I'm going to try this too, because I want to narrow my scope a little bit too, and just give it 2 weeks and see what you discover. So maybe we'll do a post about this on the team page soon, and everybody can kind of share their results, because I do think it's really powerful and will ultimately benefit your business. Isn't it crazy to think about what Rachel said, she doesn't do anything. She doesn't even say Trades of Hope, and yet she sponsors like crazy. She's a top seller. She's a director. There's something to that, and then I see women that post about it all the time that are really struggling. So, sometimes you gotta believe it and give it a try, even if it sounds like it won't work. So thank you, Dina, for sharing that. Amber, you want to hop in?
Yes, I do. So I'm going to start off with a really funny story, and I was debating on if I should even tell it or not, but it's funny. I think it's funny, so hopefully y'all think it's funny too. So I roomed with 3 other girls at Leadership, and I did not know them until I met them. And we actually did a fun speed dating kind of game at the beginning when we first got there on Friday. So I got to tell my bedmate that I'll see her in bed later. And so we go to bed, we're sleeping, and I get woken up by her telling me something. And I like look over and I'm like, what? And she's like, go for it. I'm like, go for what? And she's like, just do it, girl, go for it. And I'm like, okay, I think she's sleep talking. So we wake up the next day, we're all laughing about it, whatever. But I kept hearing go for it in the back of my head. So went through Saturday, woke up Sunday morning. I did a little funny GIF thing with my last name on Facebook, and go for it was showing up again. So I'm like, okay, God, what are you trying to tell me? What do you want me to go for? And then Aaron and Tracy got up on stage, and then I just heard 40 to director. And we're really focusing on sponsoring, and that's something that I really want to do with my business is, sponsoring and really focusing on that. So that is what I took from that whole weekend. It was a funny little sign that turned into a really big aha moment for me. So I'm not going to show you right now because it's in my kitchen, but I drew with a Sharpie a big cup on the side of my refrigerator. And every time I get a CE, I'm going to draw a little heart and write their name on it, and I'm going to stick it in that cup until that cup overflows, because they're my blessings. Every single woman on my team is a blessing to me, whether you believe it or not. If you're on here, you are. And I love every single one of you. And I love to think of that. I can't remember who had said that at Leadership, but I love the sisterhood, and I would have never even imagined what I would have gotten out of just purchasing my $99 kit when I purchased it. So that was a really big takeaway for me. Another thing is I was looking around the room, and I was looking at all these women and looking at all these leaders that I'm surrounded by, and it took a lot for me to get to the point where I thought of myself as a leader. And I thought, well, these are the kind of women that I want to make a part of my community and my team. And then I thought, oh, well, I would never be able to go up and talk to Jill Butler or Erin Woods and ask a woman like that to be on my team. But then I was like, wait a second, I'm one of those women. Maybe somebody is intimidated by me just like I am of them. So I learned that if I'm intimidated by somebody, that I just need to get my ask in gear and just ask them to be a part of the team, because they're either going to say yes or they're going to say no, or not right now. And we don't know that answer until we ask. So that's a big thing for me, is just asking everyone and using that intimidation and that insecurity to do something that I don't want to do, but I probably should be doing.
Yeah, it's the Border Patrol telling you, stay in your comfort zone. They're shooting.
Yeah, and my heart's pounding. It's like, okay, you really need to do what it is that your heart's pounding about. The Sparks thing is a really cool thing. I was talking to a Girl Scout today, and we are collaborating, which is one of our values, collaboration. And her and I are both excited. Her mom and her are going to host a party and all of that stuff. So the last thing I want to say is, and Tracy said this at her speech, is everybody here, every single one of you, you're beautiful. Your struggle is beautiful, and your story is beautiful. So just own that.
Awesome.
That's it.
Thank you, Amber. You're such a sweetheart.
You're welcome.
I love you. And I'm so excited. We're all cheering you on for your refrigerator fill up.
Yes. I'll post a picture on Team Page.
Yes, I love it. I think it's
awesome.
All right. Tracy Fountain had to go. Marie, did you ever get where you could talk to us? Or Dee?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, Marie.
Hi. Hi, guys. Okay, I think I'm supposed to cover Jess and Erica's.
Well, just kind of whatever you wanted to say.
Oh, Oh, okay. Well, Jess and Eric are two of my favorite people. And
I
love them.
had said you were like the queen. That was like my segue to you. Like they did a training on loving their team, and you're like the ultimate like loving people kind of person. So that was like my
I thought I was
segue.
supposed to cover that.
So you can talk about whatever
Am
you
I
want.
supposed to cover it?
Huh?
Oh. Well, I'm going to talk about that. And they talked about the golden rule and treating others how you want to be treated, and be authentic and be real. And I think that's a big thing when we go out and do coffee chats with people. They want to see the real you, and just, give them your passion and your why you do Trades of Hope, and to they can see that, you honestly love what you do and the purpose, and share the artisans a couple of stories with them, and just be real and be authentic. And I think the biggest thing that they said was to be inclusive and to link arms and to do it together. And I think that's what we really need to do with our teams, is we need to link arms. Like I had such a linking arm weekend with Winter, and I just can't tell you how wonderful and how blessed I was to have her there with me this weekend. Even though we slept together, we were really close together, and yes, I snored, but she had a really great night the second night after she got her earplugs. But we had it was just, you have to know the people on your teams, and I really think I got to know Winter really, really awesome this weekend, because she's in Nebraska and I'm in Florida, and it's really hard to get to know people because you're so busy, doing your Trades of Hope business. Like you said, you're by yourself really, but you don't really get to share with the people on your team, except for like little notes and little, gifts or whatever. And that's one of my love languages is gifts, and I love to give people gifts.
Should I be writing? I need to write that down. Everybody write down. Marie just gave us a very.
It's my love language. So and like what Eric was, Jess was saying, any woman who does this work could never disappoint us, even if they sold $25 a year or $10,000 a year. Any woman could not disappoint us. And like a lot of talk this weekend was even the women that just sign up and buy a kit for $99. They're doing something in Trades of Hope, and they are blessing the artisans. So even if we get to the point where, we just need to start listening to the people on our teams, start small, be very generous with limits, small things, like happy mail to your team, phone calls to your team, little text messages to your team, just to let them know that, hey, I thought of you today, and how you doing with your business? Do you need anything? Or reach out, just be present, be present with your teams, and be generous with your time. That was a big, huge thing for me. Family time, set up limits, and love well, and you will be filled up. And I'm an I love well. I bubble over, and I'm an S, and but I'm learning to be a D. I had a big talk with Elizabeth this weekend, and she's like, Marie, you really need to focus on your D. And I said, I know, I really do need to focus on my D. So I'm working on my D.
Good to know. I'll write that down to the gift giving thing too.
And we have diverse personalities, okay? And so we are going to have conflict because, there's C's and then there's I's. And that's like, whoo, the different, the spectrum, So the C's really don't get along too well with the I's. And so we just have to address it, and we have to address it in love. And we have to listen and be a sounding board, and open, and invite a third party in if you're having little troubles or conflict or whatever. And I'm an I don't like conflict. I don't like that. And I try to fix everything and be, everybody loves everybody. And apologize and have empathy to your teammates. If they're going through troubles, or if they're having, just be real and just, reach out to them, and be caring. Let's see. Oh, big thing Jeff said was every cloud has a silver lining. It is better that they are, sometimes it's better that people, are gone if they are causing a lot of conflict. And rejection is God's protection. So that to me was, because I'm one of those eyes that, oh my gosh, they're leaving my team and I'm just so upset, and I take things personally. And I think as the more you grow, you have to learn how to not take things so personal and to just be. And I love the how they were saying the tone in your house. Where would you want to, how would your tone be in your home to a person? Would it be inviting and warm, everyone pitching in, like the kitchen, and that's kind of how we want our teams to be, that, everybody's pitching in. If they're selling $20 or they're selling $100 or they're selling $1,000, and it's just like, it's like, that really all of us doing a little adds up to a lot. And I think that was our big thing this weekend, that we learned from Virginia, that we are doing great things. We are really, really doing great things for these women. And they are so appreciative for every little sale that we have. And as a leader, I realized that I'm not just going to reward the top sellers who sell $1,000 a month. I'm going to start acknowledging the $25 and $50 and $500 sales or whatever. And I just reach out to your teams and ask them how you can help them. So we're setting women free. So from brothels. So we need to be purposeful. We need to be bold, but we have to be humble in doing so. And we just, we're a team, and just love on your teams wherever they are in the moment. And that I've learned a lot this weekend. Let me tell you, learned a lot. And I was so blessed and filled up. My cup is still flowing over.
Awesome.
Did
Lonnie leave? Lonnie left, right?
Yeah. And then there was a fire on the Howard Franklin Bridge, and I sat on the bridge for an hour. Okay. And I had a big meeting today at 3 with my parents. And
well, bless your heart. Well, thank you, Marie, for everything that you have given to Trades of Hope. You have been an amazing blessing to our artisans for 3 years now. Third retreat at leadership. I honored you at the beginning. I don't know if you were on, but I celebrated the fact that you have attended all 3, which is huge. And yeah, you are, I mean, there were a lot of great messages about loving on our team. And so again, could probably be an entire training, but I love the kitchen analogy, that you want your team page to feel like a kitchen. I hope Love Rising warms up a little bit this year. I want to get you guys more engaged in our Love Rising page and make it more of a community kitchen. So don't hesitate to comment and like on posts on that page. I try to add value with the things that I put there. And so your engagement back makes it feel like a nice warm kitchen. So keep on cooking on. Okay, so Tracy left, Jolynn left. They couldn't be on. So we've got Dee and Tracy Warren. Dee, you weren't on this morning. I didn't know if you had something you want to share real quick. We're going kind of long, but we could go 5 more minutes. So Dee and Tracy Warren wanted to share. Are you here, Dee? I thought I saw her on the chat. So do you want to speak? She's here. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, Tracy Warren, why don't you hop in and close us out?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. Hi.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you. And yeah, everybody's takeaways are just so precious. And I know that each person who ever really has that desire to be at leadership, you belong at leadership, which ties into my top takeaway, which was that there is a place for everyone in Trades of Hope. And so, I kind of, maybe unbeknownst to a lot of people, I went to leadership not really knowing really what my place is, because I really know for sure that I am supposed to be coaching, but I love the mission, and I love the sisterhood, and that is just too incredible, to give up. So I was like, okay, well, what do I do? And came away knowing, especially now that we have Sparks, that is just going to be something so incredibly special. And that was one of the main reasons why I joined Trays of Hope, was so that it would be something that my daughter and I could do together. And so it just further cements that for me. But even if that's not the case for you or your prospect, there is just some aspect of this business that is beautiful and will help each person grow in whatever way that they need, and so I think that I'm going to knowing that, I think it's going to be that much more crucial that I not just focus on sponsoring business builders, but to just truly have a slow conversation with somebody and hear their heart and try to be detective and find out what is missing, and ask them if they feel like Trades of Hope may be a way that they could fill it. And honestly, there's nothing to lose, so they come in and they give it a try. Or like you were saying, some people just use it for a season and it fills their heart for that season, and that is beautiful. So the old me would have scrunched up my nose at such a thought, but there's really nothing wrong with any of it, and let's allow people let's meet them where they're at. And I say that when they're coming to us and when we're having that initial conversation, and also meeting them where they're at when they're headed out the door. And that's going to speak volumes to them. And then when they're ready for another season of something like this, they'll be way more likely to connect with us again. And that means a lot for our artisans. So anyway, there's some place in Trades of Hope for everybody. And there is nothing different or magical about the people who went to leadership. Like, regardless of where your business is now on this very day, you can go to leadership next year. There's no reason that you can't. And you just have to decide. You have to make that decision and then decide that that's for you and that you belong there. And then you kind of as Erin started us off with, you step up with that belief and you show up every day as that person who attends leadership as you feel like that person would. And then you begin to speak those words and do the actions that that person would, and you'll be there with us next year.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. And we went a little bit longer than I intended. I was going to try to shoot for an hour, but so thank you for hanging in. If you hung in till the end, obviously sponsorship is the big conversation this year, and it's where I want to go as a team. I've got lots of ideas brewing, but something that was really cool at the very end, like a conversation between Tracy and I think, just sitting on the stage at the end, because we've been talking about kind of changing some of the language and changing some of the barriers and the mindsets about sponsorship that might be holding some of us back. Because it might be the thing that you don't do. You book parties, you sell, you share stories, but you're like, sponsorship, I don't know. So what if we didn't call it sponsorship anymore? What if we called it asking? Just asking. You ask your neighbor for a cup of sugar. You ask your babysitter to come over and babysit. You ask for things all day long that you need, or that you want to know an answer to, and you have to ask for what you want to get it, right? So when you want women to join your team, when you want women to know the joy of what we're experiencing and the beautiful personal growth and all of the amazing inspiration and things that we're having, you got to ask. The answer is always no unless you ask. And so I want you to just sit with that for a minute, because it's going to be kind of a direction we're going this year. Is we're going to try not to use the S word as much, and we're going to really try to use just ask. Who have you asked today? about joining us and shared what it is that we're doing as compassionate entrepreneurs. I am going to be starting up an 8-week get your ask in gear sponsor, well, I don't want to say the word, asking class, and it's going to start January 30th. It is open to anybody who wants to be a part of it. It's going to be Tuesday mornings at 9:30 in the morning a.m., but I will record them, so even if you can't be on live, you can be in the group if you want to be a part of it. It's going to be 8 weeks. I've also asked Tracy Warren, Tracy Fountain, and Joe Lynn to be guests for at least one of the 8-week talks. These are top leaders, top sponsors in this company. They are great at asking. And I just really want to help you shift your mindset about it, make it something that feels easy if it feels hard, and help you grow in these next 8 weeks in that particular area, because it is the thing that has the most impact on this mission. And I know every single one of you loves this mission. You wouldn't be here. You probably joined because of the mission. Everybody does. So if you did that, if you joined because of the mission, then the thing that you can do to impact it the most is asking women to be a compassionate entrepreneur with you. So I will be posting on the Love Rising page. And if you want to be a part of the Get Your Ask in Gear, all you have to do is say, add me, and I will get that group started up, and you can be a part of it. And get ready for all of the asking jokes. I've been making a list. Is your ask big enough? New year, new ask. My ask is huge. I have a huge ask. So, I mean, there is no end to where this is going. So grab your pom-poms and get your ask in gear, because it's a coming. So anyway, thank you guys. I will post that later so you can comment and be really excited to be a part of that. And thank you again, amazing leadership team, for sharing your hearts tonight. Good night. I love you. See you later. Bye.
Night, Erin.
Good night.